Alright, so we just got back from our trip from Spain, and we brought this luggage in the check-in as a check-in luggage, and we have traveled many miles. I think on foot the last trip was about, my phone logged about 8,000 steps, so that is a very long distance for these wheels to run. So what happened was, after I think about 6,000 steps, this wheel caved in. Well, it didn't broke off, but what happened was it sort of like worn out. I think it's because it was like rubbing on the sides. It was rubbing really bad. It sort of burned out and melted the casters, the, well, what you call it, these forks, and the shaft also melted as well, into the sides. Well, yeah, that's what happened. So long story short, I was dragging this bag all the way to the train station, which wasn't nice. So now today, instead of throwing this bag out to the skip or to the recycle center as to recycle, we are going to replace the wheels. I'm gonna show you how to do it, how I did it. The point is, I'm not gonna throw the luggage and buy a new one, because even if I were to buy a new one, it's kind of pointless, because every luggage that comes will be, well, it will be only travel quality. It won't be as heavy duty stuff that, won't break, and eventually will break again. So what's the point of me buying a new bag? It's not about how much money I'm going to spend about buying a new bag instead of fixing this bag. I just want to have this bag as a heavy duty bag that will last for a few more trips until the case breaks. So as you can see here, the case, the body itself, is not broken. The body, the handles, the insides, look at that, it's still good. It's still nice. Nothing torn or anything. Still, well, kept clean, as you can see. Just used it last week, so still good. Everything still intact. This retainer is still functional. Handle still good. Didn't break. Well, generally the whole thing still works. Everything still works. So let's save this bag. So this is how you do it. Okay, so there's a zipper. There's a zip. Undo the zip. You can see inside, for this style of luggage, they usually come with a plastic body, made in China as usual, like every other bag. Use a screwdriver. In this case, I'm just gonna use my power drill. Just gonna use my driver. I'm gonna undo the screws. 4 screws on every wheel. You want to save the screws because we're going to use the screws back. So right, so now we have this, I would say the base, right? The base is what's gonna be holding the wheel together so that it won't fall out. Okay, So what holds between the base and the wheel is a rivet. If you're familiar with rivets, it's just basically it's like a stud that holds and jam it together like that. But this one, I already done it before this video recording, so this is how you do it. I'm gonna pull out one more. I'm gonna show you how I actually remove the rivet. So remove this, the wheels off. You have a smooth, well, not a smooth base, but like a flat base. And I got this. I bought this from the hardware store today. This one is rated 25 kilos, 25 kilograms each. Each wheel. There you go. Put it in focus. 25 kilograms for each wheel. So just imagine how long that would last just by using one of these instead of this cheapy plastic. These wheels, the standard ones that comes with the luggage, is actually plastic inside and it's coated with rubber outside. So I had another wheel on this luggage, the same luggage, that had a problem was like the rubber got rimmed off because of abrasions from the sides. First the shaft gave way, and then it started to rub on the side. The rim, the rubber bit came off. So what happened is when it came off, the whole thing get jammed up, and then it started to drag on the floor. So eventually, a few more 100 meters back on the way home, I think it was like 2 years ago, then it started to break. Well, it's horrible when you get about 20 kilos worth of luggage, worth of clothes and stuff in the bag, and it gets really heavy to carry back home. It's somewhat the worst nightmare for travelers. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna replace it with this one. This one is a solid wheel. It's made of plastic, but it's only one layer. There's only one material, so it's a solid material, and it's punched, riveted to this metal wheel, metal caster that has bearings on it. So you can easily lubricate this with grease, or you can lubricate with oil, but not WD-40. For those who don't know what W40 is, this is WD-40. It says 1 can 2000 uses. Yes, it's true, but the problem is it stops squeaks, drives out moisture, cleans and protects, but it dries out. After a few weeks, it will dry out, and you have to constantly use it to free up. It's actually used to free sticky screws and mechanical parts, but it won't moisturize like grease, like oil, like proper oil or grease, like lithium grease, which I'm gonna show a little bit later in this video. So here goes the next one. Let's pull out the next one. I will show you how I'll remove the wheel bit. Switch on the lights. There you go. Okay, there you go. You can use a screwdriver if you want, by hand. Just somewhat lazy today. As usual, save the screws. Never throw the screws. We're gonna use the screws back, make it as original. Okay, so I got the wheel out. This is the one that I mentioned earlier. Look at that. The whole rubber bit came off. That's quite horrible. On that trip, I even used olive oil because we don't have any like grease or anything on the trip. And I was dragging the bag, I think probably about a kilometer or 2 kilometers probably, all the way back home to Konsu's house. So yeah, this is horrible. So now we're gonna remove this. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna use a drill, with a bit about as big as the shaft that you can see in the middle here, the shaft. So the shaft is that bit inside. So the internal diameter is the shaft size. So if you're just gonna drill it like this, what's gonna happen is the shaft is gonna spin and it's not gonna cut. This blades, this sharp bit of the bits is not gonna cut the rivet. So we improvise. Use a long nose plier. Hang on, better view for you. Long nose plier inside. If you look inside, switch on the lights. If you can look inside, there, you're gonna pinch it like that. Not the whole thing. It's gonna roll, spin. So you pinch it like that. You can find various ways of doing this. I could remove the wheel first and then pinch it whole, or use a plier of sort and jam it and then drill. It's the same, as long as you can get it off. So back to this wheel, I'm gonna pinch it inside and then I'm gonna drill it. I'm gonna rest it on the floor like that. You can see on the floor. And drill. The bigger the drill bit, the better, because we're gonna score the outside of the rivet. If you got enough drilling, this piece up here is gonna come off. I've had other luggages, like, you know, branded ones like Ecolite and Samsonite and American Traveler or Tourister or something like that. The amount of travel I do with my luggages, it just breaks. It just wears off really fast. So what happened is, I just throw away the luggage. As you can see, this job needs a little bit of skill. So it will work, it will help if you are a DIY kind of person. There you go. See, this is the bearing that sits on here, the original one. Take that off. See, you're left only with the base plates. Right, as you can see, that part of the luggage does come with a zip, but this side of the luggage doesn't have a zip. Well, solutions, simple solutions. Stanley knife or blade. You want to cut this bit. You don't need a lot. You don't have to cut the whole luggage down. What you can do is cut a slit in a, well, non-obvious or unconspicuous area, just a little bit. If you can sew, if you can do a little bit of sewing, that's good. You can fix it later. Who cares? Rather than having this luggage going to the tip, going to the bin. Get all 4 screws out. Three and 4. Make sure you don't drop the screws inside the sleeve, because if it drops inside, good luck finding it. There you go. Another wheel out. Same process. So I'm gonna split this edge also, just like that, just a little bit, just enough for me to get the screwdriver or the driver in to remove the screws. Four screws. That's it. One more wheel out. Gonna work on this, and we'll go to the part of how to mount those new wheels. So we have these bases. As I said earlier, in the earlier part of this video, I mentioned that this one is rated as 25 kilos, so this should last a while. It's stronger, so we're gonna put this one, this new wheel, I'm gonna mount it here. As long as it holds in place, and you need not worry about how big the screws are gonna be, because these screws are just gonna hold the base, this metal plate, the base, in place so that it won't fall off. So it's not gonna bear any weights. The weight's gonna, because this base is gonna sit like this, it's gonna be mounted like this into the bag, so all the weight's gonna sit on here. So these wheels are gonna be having an upward force, therefore you just need the screws to hold this base in place so that it won't go out. So downward force, upward force equals a good luggage. So I'm gonna improvise a little bit. I'm gonna mount the base like this, right? But there's a chance that this wheel might slip and it falls in like that. So that's going to be a problem. Even I'm going to eliminate almost every single chance for the luggage to fail along my journeys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this, like this is actually meant for tile works. It's a spacer. People use it for windows. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this up. I'm just going to use a thin snipper. Going to measure about that much. Let's see if it fits. I'm not sure if it's going to fit, but I'm just going to go for it. About there. About there. Gonna cut it. There you go. Put it in. Ah, fits. Put this on. So there, you have this part sitting on here, supporting it even more. Why not? Why not? So it doesn't matter, you can put it this way, because as you can see, this base is rectangular. You go this way or this way, whichever way, as long as it sits, it fits. Like that. I can point it in the direction of, if you see this base is not really, it's not a square, it's rectangle. So I can point it in such a direction. These two holes, let me switch on the lights. There you go. These two holes gonna be sitting in the bearing space. It looks nicer that way. It's just aesthetics, that's all. So we're gonna drill a pilot hole first. As for screws, you can either use these kind of screws. Let's make it a little bit brighter so that it's easier for you to see. These kind of bolts and nuts. If you want, you can. But I'm just gonna go simple. I'm gonna make this functional. I'm just gonna go for screws like this. I know it might look like a bodge, but if it works, it's not a bodge. I'm gonna put this screw on, screw it into the base with the wheel on, and then I'm gonna apply some 2-ton glue like this. Two-part glue, not 2-ton glue, sorry. It's called a 2-ton. They are branded ones. These are cheap ones. I got it from, if you're in England, it's called Poundland. If you're in America, you probably find it in Dollar Tree or such a shop, discount shops. It's a glue to just hold the screw in place so that it won't undo itself when you're traveling. Vibrations can do many things, many bad things actually. It can do a lot of bad things. So here goes. Let's do the first one, see if I can get it in place. Just gonna use a bit, a drill bit. Let's see if I can find one. The drill bit shouldn't be too big, that the hole become loose. Just gonna have it just right. The screw shank, is it a bit focused there? The screw shank, about that much. Yeah, there. You can still see the grooves of the screw. So I'm gonna screw this a little bit as a guide hole. Alrighty, so we have all 4 wheels mounted. I got all the 4 screws inside. Well, it doesn't matter if it is outside a little bit, but if it's inside, I know that it won't like sit on the shell, well, the luggage shell. If you can see there, over there, there's luggage shell. You don't want it to sit anywhere else, so try to get it in this webbing. This is called webbing, web. So within this area. So I'm gonna mix some of this two-part glue now, and we are going to apply some. For those who never used it before, you have two parts. You have resin, you have hardener. So you have either one. So this one wasn't marked and it's all clear. I have no idea which one. But if you mix the two part, it will go hard in about an hour. Usually an hour to set. So not to waste, I will mix small portions at a time. Sometimes this two-part glue, it comes in like toothpaste kind of packaging. Doesn't matter whichever way it comes, it's still the same stuff. So you want to mix it like this. You can use I used to use ice cream sticks when I was younger, because I used to have a lot of ice cream, so I save all the sticks, and you can use it. Oh, this one's smelling really strong. It's chemical, so for those who are sensitive with your nose, you might want to wear some protection so that you don't inhale the fumes. Okay, there you go. Let's switch on the lights and you can see better. There you go. Yeah, so get the glue, like a blob of glue like that. Not too much, because it's going to take time to set. Yeah, like that. This is one of my favorite dispensables in my toolbox. Two-part glue. It's like liquid plastic, molds into everything. So once we put this glue on, it's gonna prevent the screws from undoing itself from vibrations. Sometimes more is not always better. A little bit less, it cures faster, it cures harder. One done. You can leave it overnight if you want before you put it back on the luggage. I'm just in a rush because I got something else to do. So I'm just gonna lodge it in like that. And put it back on the luggage as soon as I can. And one more thing, if you want to put, like this is the old one, this is going off already, start to set. So start a new batch on a clean space. Sometimes the cheap stuff, the cheap version of this two-part glue, it goes off slower, it sets slower. Like here in the UK, as I'm now in the UK, I think I bought it from Poundland. If you have a Poundland around where you live, it goes off a little bit slower. Poundland, that means it's only a pound. £1 is about $1.50 for a pack, so it's not too expensive. it stick. Make it stick to the web. It's even better. There you go. And the last one. Doesn't really have to be very neat because this is a part that you won't see and no one will see. You don't want to put too much, it's going to spill over. It's going to spill out when you start flipping the luggage over before it sets. That's it. Made a little bit too much there. I'm just gonna finish it. Looks fine. Looks fine. Maybe a little bit here. And this one. Yep, looks fine. Now, I've cleared out the workspace a little bit. So we have all this. We have all these wheels. We'll clean out this part later. Okay, so now here goes. Wheels on. Switch on the lights. No, don't need. I don't think we need one. So all the wheels are the standard. It comes in a standard size, standard design. All of them are identical, I think. Let's see. No, it's not identical. There's the left side and the right side. So whichever that fits, that will be it. So put it back on. Nope, wrong one. Try this one. Yep, fits. So it's on. Screws. Switch on your lights. Where is that? Ah. Like I said, this impact driver is really strong, so go gentle. There you go, go easy on it. Okay. Looks good. Choose your wheel. Line the holes. too ugly. It's not too bad, isn't it? No one's gonna see it because it's under the luggage, so you won't see it. Alrighty, so I've mounted all the 4 wheels. All the wheels are on. Zip it all back up. Make sure there's no like residues of plastic and from the old bits inside. It's all good. Zip it back up. There you go. Looks like it's okay. See, you can't even see it. Well, unless if you're down here. This camera is really low. It's down on the floor. You might see a little bit, maybe a little bit. If I use a smaller screw, you probably won't see it at all. Looks fine. It's probably better than brand new. Switch on the lights. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's gonna be good for a few more years of service before I need a new bag. This is another way of recycling. You don't have to buy a new bag every time it breaks. If you can fix it, fix it. Don't keep on blaming about climate change and people not recycling things. We can do it. That's it. Voila.